is for the woman title. Liv Morgan is been the favorite to win the match. Um, J Fatu is the favorite to win against his. We'll kind of see that coming because Drew McIntyre, excuse me, I'm not pronouncing that correctly. He's rumored to take a small break after WrestleMania. Um, doesn't have to get in specifics, but I do know that is rumored, and I think it's confirmed. He is going to take a little break. He needs some time off. For the heavyweight champion, where is this? CM Punk is rumored to win that one. For the four-way women title, they're saying rumored. And again, these are only rumors and nothing's confirmed, obviously, guys. Keep that in mind. Barely is rumored to win that one. Let's see. For the IC women title, Becky Lynch is going to win over AJ Lee. In a way, I kind of see that coming because AJ, I don't think she's going to go full time. I think she's a part timer. That's the other reason. And that's a big thing. For the six-man tag team, Usos and Jay Light are favored to defeat Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and Ice Speed. I think it's going to be the other way around, to be honest with you on that one. I have a feeling this is going to be a twist around, and that is going to cause off guard. And okay, I see why he's taking a break. Okay, the rumor is, it is kind of confirmed. Drew McIntyre is status to report he is going to take a break due to shooting not remake, a reboot. I guess we're gonna call it of the Highlander movie, and he's filming into it. That's why he's going to lose to Jacob Fadu. And that kind of makes sense. It makes a lot of sense because if you're going to lose, you want to lose hard and to take that big break. And that is the issue. So with Seth Rollins and Gunther, the rumor is Seth Rollins is going to win that. I kind of see that coming too, to be honest with you, because it's definitely a match that if Gunther wins, is going to put him at like a weak status, and he's been a very top dog at all his career. I don't see him losing that match. That would be a career suicide for him right at this moment. The way he came back, they're going to open the show with the six-man tag team, and that is, hey Greg, what's going on, my man? And that is a big plus because if you break it down, there are a lot of good wrestlers, and that one is up in the air. They don't know who is rumored to win that one. But the thing with some of these matches, and this is where I got a little funky in the last couple weeks because you have other people jumping into this, like Jelly Roll. No knocks on Jelly Roll. I think he's a great performer. He lost a lot of weight. The guy looks good. I gotta give him credit. And that's the thing. Let me start reach out to these guys, see where the hell they are. Okay. All right, let's see what these guys are. But these matches are good. They're not iconic matches that we're excited for. And that is the problem I think we're having this year. And we spoke about other shows too. And the thing with the rumors here, it depends on what source you're looking at. You never heard of Wu. Which one you never heard, Eric? Because I'm curious now. It's different this year because it's no hype. So another source I'm looking at right now, they're saying here that Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and ICP is going to win that match. Jacob is still going to win that one. The woman title is going to be Stephanie Vaquel is going to win that one. I don't see that one actually. And this one is also saying also Jelly Roll is actually he's not a wrestler. Eric, he is actually a country singer. He's performing in the WrestleMania as a talent. I'm surprised you never heard of Jelly Roll. He's actually huge in the country scene right now. He's a number one country singer out there. That's kind of odd. I have never heard of him. He's I don't want to say number one country singer, but he's up there in rank. Um. All right. Let's see what we have here. So it really depends on your source because everyone says different. Like that is the thing. Oh, let me guess, Eric. You hate country music, don't you? It's actually not that bad. If you actually listen to it, it's actually very good. Country music actually has a uprising right now, very very high uprising, and it's coming along a long way. I was the same way. I was never big into the country to recently, and now I'm actually into it. Believe it or not, I was always a very heavy metal kind of guy, like the metal stuff. But lately, I got into the country. To be honest with you guys, and it's something different. I actually started to enjoy it. So I don't knock it till you try, bro. I'm like, there's a lot of good country music you might enjoy. So, all right, my guys should be jumping up here any minute now. All right. So it just one of those things like which way are we gonna go with this? I think if it's WrestleMania, if it's gonna be as bad as we think it is, okay. If you like country music, definitely check out Jelly Roll. You're gonna change your mind about him until you listen to his music. Now, as a wrestling performer, that you can take it or like it. I'm not saying he's worse. I'm not saying he's good. Take it as you like it. Like I said, because you might see him, you might enjoy him, but not. You might. That guy's been through hell. I give him credit. He has come a long way. That guy has been through hell and back. If you listen to his backstory, man, if you want a underdog story, that is definitely one right there. You know a lot, and he go check it out. That's the only thing I say. I don't want to say more to that because Jelly Roll is something you should definitely check out. I'm not going to deny that. I think he is a great performer and a person who has a great story to talk about. All right. Let's see. Let's try this one. Let's go here. Boom. Now, some of his stories, you always hear them saying, Cody Rhodes finished a story. He did that, the bloodline, all this stuff. But what is going to the outcome of this afterwards? That is a question. I personally been saying for a while. I feel Cody is going to turn heel tomorrow night or Sunday night, whatever night he's wrestling. I think he's going to turn heel because he's up for a heel turn, big time. Because he's been a babyface since he came back to the company. And I've seen his face doing heel turn. And man, on TNA, he did a great job as a heel. Not TNA, AEW, I'm sorry, as a heel. I enjoyed it very, very much for. So let's see where that goes. So let's get back to the original topic here. Let me get my notes back up here. Uh, right here. Let's click this here. All right. All right. So another good one was Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25. I don't really remember that one too much. You're hoping to, you're hoping the OTC gets put to bed. I don't think that's gonna happen. Explain to you why, Eric. Because they have built him up ever since he came back after COVID. They built him up so high that he's unstoppable almost. And that's why I don't think they're going to do that. Snake, my man, what is going on? If you'd like to join the conversation, this link is in the chats. I don't think they're going to knock down, Randy Orton. I mean, already, man, my brain's from OTC, because he's a mega power now. I don't see him losing against CM Punk. Keyword Punk. Punk is a great wrestler for his time. He still is a great performer. But can he carry the belt for a long time? No, I don't think so. I do not think so. I don't think he has that strength to do that. I don't think so at all. I think he's going to be one of those wrestlers that you see. And what was it? You're right about that. According to rumors right now, the Roman Reigns will win that match at this moment. And he's going, and then you're going to see maybe CM Punk or somebody's going to turn heel again. I think CM Punk does his best work as a heel, not as a babyface. And if you watch I call it the Pipe Bomb 2.0, he called out a lot of people, bro. He called out Randy Orton. He called OT. Man, what is it called? Oh man, my brain's froze right now. Who owns WWE right now? TKO. He called them out. He called the prices, and that's the thing right now. If you see how many tickets are still available, that's ridiculous. And unfortunately, wrestling events are not. Yes, WrestleMania has always been an expensive event to go to. The most expensive event because of all these extra stuff you have to pay for. The tickets, the plane tickets, if you're traveling, or the hotel, whatever, the venues, all this stuff. But here's the issue with that. On top of that, now you gotta sell your liver to just for a bleeder nose seat. Imagine how much you have to spend front row. You know what? I am going to look it up because I'm curious how much it is. Holy shit. All right, let's get this guy in here before I say how much this is. Anton, you sure your pants yet?
Nah, I'm good.
All right, Anton, what's going on, my man? Late, but better than ever.
Yeah, I had to try to get something done behind the scenes. That's what it was.
I don't worry about it, dude. Stuff. Let me ask you a quick question before we move on to the actual show. I was waiting for you guys to jump on. So, WrestleMania,
Okay.
front row seat. What is your estimate for 2-night row, for a 2-night event?
I used to like it when it was when it was just one night because
hey, we're gonna get to that in a minute. But
okay.
I'm asking, how much is a ticket? You think right now?
I'm gonna guess 1,500, between 15 and 1,800.
Keep going up.
Oh wow, 25.
70 grand.
Are you kidding?
Nope. According to online, I might be wrong. I am just looking.
Wow.
Yeah, this might be wrong, but this is a
Oh my.
two-night event. Both are front rows. 70 grand. You're pretty much buying a new car with that money.
Yeah, you could do a lot with 70 grand.
Yeah, and that's
Unbelievable.
way too much. My personal opinion for a ticket.
Nah, Eric, I gotta have my coffee.
If you're telling me now, if it was like 3 grand, 4 grand, I can see that.
Yeah.
70 grand.
70.
Yeah.
And
Now,
it's
if you go to upper level,
uh-huh.
front row is called a front row elite for 2 nights, 50K.
Wow.
Row 2 and 3, 35, and it goes. The numbers keep dropping. Like the lowest I see here, again, this is a Google search. It might be completely off. I hope it is.
Right.
But if it is, the lowest general ring, low end, 10K.
Oh my God.
You need to say your fucking liver, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. All right. WrestleMania entries. My personal favorite was when they brought back the Undertaker's Dead Man Sapona when they walked out with the guys with the cloaks and the flames.
Yeah.
I think that was WrestleMania 17, wasn't it?
I think that was 17 or 18. I'm trying to remember. It's one of those two.
I'm gonna look it up as we're talking.
Okay.
But name your 5 top ones.
Oh wow. I can't put it in exact order, but Shawn Michaels on the zip line in Anaheim. You can't go wrong with that. That was awesome. Definitely the Undertaker. Definitely the Undertaker when he went back to the Dead Man. Who else would I say had a great entrance? Oh wow. You could never go wrong with the first WrestleMania because that was the standard. At the first WrestleMania at Madison Square Garden, that was the standard. One of the great entrances I can say, and I can't say it was a particular wrestler, but it was how they brought the wrestlers to the ring. WrestleMania in Toronto at the Sky Dome. They actually had them on carts that looked like mini rings.
Because of how far it was.
Yeah, because it was, and people forget Sky Dome is the current home to the Blue Jays, and I think the Argonauts of the CFL used to play there too at one time. So I don't know how they had the field laid out, but they literally had them on carts that went from, I don't know, it was from the outfield or from one of the dugouts all the way to the center of the stadium to where the ring was set up. And that's how all the wrestlers came in and out because it was that far of a walk.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm doing good, Craig. Thanks for asking. And that was, I think, by far one of the coolest ones because that was so creative. But that showed you how big Sky Dome is because you didn't realize it. You're watching it and you're looking at all these people. They had maybe 68,000. I remember it was like 68,000. And this is before the Titantron. This is before the Titantron and the ramp. This is when they still had the Gorilla Curtain and everything else. So to see that layout in Toronto was like awesome.
Time out really fast. The Undertaker's iconic match was against his quote unquote brother Kane was WrestleMania 20.
Okay.
With him returning as the Dead Man versus the biker.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was Paul. Man, I forgot his agent. Paul Bear. Yeah, Paul Bear. That's his name. Paul Bear came out and he called it. That's creepy. It sounds like him too. Actually, I think it's my best impression right now.
Shout out, man! Hey, that's a good impression. That's a very good impression. Shout out, man.
Yeah, he was talk shit about Paul Bearer, but he was fucking a creepy agent. I like that shit. You know
honestly, but he was one of him, Mr. Fuji, the Doctor Style Slick, of course, the one and only, the Brain, Bobby Heenan.
Mm-hmm.
Classy Freddie, classy Freddie Blassie, calling
Mhm.
everyone the pencil neck geeks. Jim Cornette with the tennis rackets. Brother Love, Sensational Sherry, and of course the one and only Miss Elizabeth. They were the managers. The
But you also have to give credit where credit's due. Who is the number one manager right now? Paul what?
Oh God. Hi Carter. And as you can see, I'm getting stolen. He's taking my drink. Take it. All right, you want to sip? Here. There we go. Get out of
That
here.
dude is on camera.
Yes, that's the
What
George.
to do? Yeah. Paul, listen. I know if Paul jumped on here, he isn't gonna be screaming his lungs off right now. Because he cannot stand Paul Heyman because of his
Yeah, Paul Heyman. That's thank you. I was having a brain fart. Yes.
Yeah,
But
Paul Heyman to me, like he has done a lot, but he's a few people who still protects the business like it was.
Yes, he's definitely someone. He's definitely a legend in the business. He's definitely one of those leaders. And I'm trying not to use the other terms that I was using before. Thank you, Wally, for correcting me on that. He was definitely one of those leaders that made sure that anybody that came into the business understand the history of the business.
Exactly.
Stop that. Yeah. No.
So there's so many different WrestleMania. Another good one was the Triple H with the Terminator. They were using the term. I think the movie Terminator was sponsoring that WrestleMania.
Oh
And
yeah.
he came out with the robot heads hanging them.
Yes.
Yeah. Or the next year he came with on a bike with his wife. Both of them had their own bikes.
Yes.
And the funny part with I remember which one it was. It was two wrestlers that were training to be wrestlers. One was Flair,
Oh really? Okay.
and I think it was the other one is Becky Lynch. I can't remember who it was. The other one.
I think it was Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch. I won't be surprised.
Yeah.
And then I remember Kurt Angle. He had those two guys working with him. He had Charlie Haas and Sheldon Benjamin. Benjamin was a teammate with Lesnar at the University of Minnesota.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Charlie Haas, surprisingly wrestled here in Jersey at Seton Hall. And one of my friends, before he passed away, actually coached him at Seton Hall before the school cut the program.
Really?
Yeah. And he actually did wrestle against Kurt Angle in the Olympic trials.
I'm not surprised at that part.
I mean, the guy was a very good wrestler. Like he was a very, very good wrestler. God rest his soul. His name was Kesner de Fresnay. I graduated with his brother in 94. He graduated from our high school in 92. He was that good of a wrestler. Very good.
I know no, what's his name? Kurt Angle had some good iconic entries too.
Yes, he did. He definitely did. And I think the one thing you got to give Angle credit, you can tell he was one of those guys. Excuse me, I'm still talking. He was one of those guys that probably didn't take pro wrestling that serious per se. Sinclair, I'm busy right now. You got to stop. He found a way to I won't say fall in line, but he definitely found a way to find his niche, and it worked. And he just ran with it. And, I mean, even if there were times where he would do goofy stuff, he was all fair. He was okay with it. As long as it was everyone. Yes, if it benefited him and it benefited others at the same time, he was all in. And I remember, I think it was here where him and Undertaker were swapping stories about some of the stuff that he was doing. And Undertaker admitted that there were times that he came very close to breaking character. And I heard it's very hard to get the Undertaker to break character if you do something that comes out of nowhere, and he finds it very funny. And he said Angle a few times at least has almost caught him off guard. Mm-hmm. So Angle, you have to give him credit because he found a way to be a really good sport about it.
Absolutely. And dude, Edge used to roast him so bad. If you remember.
That is true. But you got to give Angle credit. You got to give Angle credit because he always he's always found a way to improv it or to do something that no one was expecting and it works. So you got to give him credit for that.
He's always working on a fly. That's one thing I give him credit for.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
yes, yes, and that's not easy.
No.
Not, and only and a few wrestlers can pull, and there's some people that can pull it off without a problem, and Angle's one of them. So you got to give him that. You have to. I mean, there's just a lot of iconic entrances to WrestleMania to where it's like it's hard to name them all sometimes, and it's kind of hard to name like that one introduction. You know what I mean?
Another one was when Triple H faced it, Undertaker, if you remember,
Oh yes,
and Shawn Michael was the referee, and that was I thought it was a good entry for both of them. To be honest with you,
oh definitely. That was one of those icon. Those are one of those things you look at like, damn, this is never going to get old. You can watch it so many times, and you're just like, yeah, these are never going to get old. And
but
that,
it's yeah. But this year, I don't think even the wrestling interest is going to be there.
uh-huh,
But is it going to be iconic?
that's going to be hard because a lot of the wrestlers we just named, Stone Cold, Undertaker, The Rock, Hulk Hogan, Roddy Piper, Ultimate Warrior, even some of the tag teams, Heart Foundation, Demolition, the Rockers, the British Bulldogs, all those teams, certain tag teams, certain individuals, like they became standard bearers. And it's like, how do you outdo them? Like, how can you? You really have to be that creative to outdo the ones that people are still talking about to this day. And these are entrances that were maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago, some of them even 30 years ago, when they were still doing when it was still on cable on pay-per-view before it started streaming.
Yeah, that is the problem I have sometimes because when it was a lower budget thing, the interest was better.
Yeah. It forced you to be creative.
Yeah,
And that's the one thing I'll always say, they always found a way to be creative. I don't know how they did it, but they always did. And you got to give them credit. You really do. I know people don't like him. Vince Russo, one example. Another great writer that most people didn't realize, Freddie Prinze Jr. I didn't know he was a writer for WWE at one time.
I didn't know he was a writer too after he left WWE when he
Yeah,
was more doing different things on a show, if that makes sense.
right. I was surprised when I found out he was a writer. I was like, wait, he was a writer on WWE?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. I remember seeing it on. I think I was streaming on. I'm trying to remember if it was Peacock or the WWE network when they had their own network, their own streaming network. And I was looking at some of their they were doing a documentary on particular wrestlers. And when he was on the panel, I was surprised, like, oh wow, I did not know he was a writer. And they were talking about some of the most iconic matches and so on and so forth. So for a lot of them, they were creative and they found a way to get it done. And I remember also, people forget, before some of the wrestlers, worked side by side with particular music groups or artists, the WWE used to do their own theme. They had a particular individuals who would write the music, who would come up with, the music and everything else, and it worked. Now, like, you got some wrestlers working with, particular artists because, they're big fans of them, like Triple H, big fan of Motorhead. So, of course, some of his themes of the game, Motorhead singing it. Of course, Limp Bizkit doing The Undertaker when he was doing the American Badass theme.
I mentioned that's one of my favorite ones too.
So it's like
Here's a question from Wally: how that was known for a good time?
It was. It was because you had to be creative to do a lot of that stuff, and because you couldn't come up with it off the top of your head, you know, you really had to really pay attention to to a lot of these superstars. You probably had to figure out what type of music they were into. That probably gave some of the musicians that did the music.
Look at John Cena; he made his own music.
I remember that. That's right. People
He
forget.
twice
That's right.
because the first one was like a big rap one and was pretty good.
Yeah.
Then he updated it to the you don't see me. I think he named it,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a good one too. Another good entry was WrestleMania 25 with Shawn Michaels. He's literally an old white cowboy shoot, and he's like, oh, like coming from the Raptors down, but as an elevator, and like, can you remember John Cena when he ran his car into the glass?
Yes.
That's another good one.
Yes.
Or when Shane McMahon, like his kids came out, all three his little Rugrats.
Yes.
Those were iconic matches. I mean, entries.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes I feel like the entries steal the show completely better than the whole match.
It does. Yes, it does. It's like when you bring out like particular superstars and their favorite artists at the same time, it really like yes. You find a way to bring them both together, and it's like yes, I like how this goes. I like how it works and everything. So and it's not that easy. It's not that easy. And so and for some if you ever get like big name music artists too to go along with it, that's the even better part. And let's be honest, like for example, CM Punk. His opening, Cult Personality by Living Color. And I remember when they first came out, and that tells you how old I am. These guys were like people never heard of them, but their music was awesome. And then when CM Punk started wrestling and you start hearing their music coming out, I'm like, what? And he honestly was able to give them like a revival in their career.
Yeah. So before we answer Wally's question here, or statement, I should say, I've never been a fan of that song. Never liked it. Never enjoyed it. I've never done like I can take it and leave it. To be honest, yeah, I never liked it.
Wow.
And I'm a metalhead too, and that's a punk song.
Yeah,
and that's up to with metal and all that stuff. But no. So Wally's statement is no. I am talking about the writer, Freddie Prinze Jr. I'm assuming he's saying he doesn't think, when Junior was writing, it was a good time. It's better than doing now. I'll give you that much.
That's true.
It is here's funny about wrestling, bro, is when it's bad, we're talking about like, this sucks, this is bullshit, blah blah blah. 20 years from now, we're like, oh, remember when YouTube thing? I mean, we should just talk about today shit. Oh my fucking god. That's gonna be even worse back then.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to picture it.
You're already there. Don't even make a picture. Just look in the mirror.
Oh,
yo, remember when the New Day did the Bootios?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
That was pretty creative. Give them credit on that.
Honestly, you got to give New Day credit because they knew how to take something. They didn't have a problem making fun of themselves, but they knew how to get the fans involved at the same time.
And what I liked about them, they dress like anime characters. A lot of them.
Yeah. Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Big E. Yeah. And the one thing I like is that they love using the Freebird rule when it came to tag team competition. When they held the tag team belts, you didn't know which 2 of the 3 were wrestling. And then you're like, wait a minute, huh? And then you're like, the Freebird rule. Okay.
Yeah. Wally, what's up, man?
Hey, Wally, Sakafe.
Yeah, what's going on?
What's good?
But yeah, no, that's not what I was saying earlier. I was saying when y'all said that y'all didn't know that Freddie Prinze Jr. was a writer for WWE. That's like, well, how couldn't you? Because literally, there was news about that.
No, I just never really thought about. I just never realized it. It was one of those things that it just if you didn't even paid attention to it, or you just never really paid it any mind. But when I saw him in that roundtable discussion, and they said he was a WWE writer, I'm sitting like,
Yeah,
really?
former WWE writer. Yeah.
I was like, okay, former like, and they said he was like WWE writer, and they said the years he was doing it, and I was like, I never knew he was a writer. Like it was just one of those things you never just expected. So when I saw it, I was like, okay. Because it's funny that you would think there's some people that had no understanding of wrestling, and then you find out who does have a great knowledge of wrestling, then you sit there like, okay, they know this stuff. Or you know what? They know more than I expected, and you're impressed. That's all. That's all it is, Wally.
No, yeah, but I'm just saying, for like, it was been. I mean, I guess if you wasn't in WWE back then like that enough to know, then it's like I guess it wouldn't be on your radar, I guess. But even then, it was still well known enough for a lot of people to know that. Like, if you didn't know that, I'm guessing you were just out of the loop.
Okay.
I didn't know because I didn't care as much to know. To be honest, I care about what I watched, and I didn't really dive deep into the wrestling and stuff like that back then, like I do now. Now it's easier to you just turn on any platform, any wrestling news is gonna be right there in front of you if you follow stuff.
Right.
So what you missed your question. Do you remember Rush's tank entry?
Which one?
The tank entry when he came with a tank, the T55.
Amongst who?
Rusev, remember?
Russo? You talking about
Yeah.
Vince Russo?
No, Rusev. I said.
Oh, Rusev. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about it?
I'm like, I want Anton's opinion because, like, how much money do you think they paid somebody to drive that damn thing, bro? Anton.
I'm trying to think. They had to borrow it from somebody. They had to borrow
Not
that.
even borrowing it. I'm saying the driver. How much they had to pay somebody to drive that damn thing? Because it's not like you get a driver license. You need a special permit or a certification to drive that, right, dude?
Yeah. Like I'm honestly like there's some things when I was in the service that I know how to drive. I got certified in them, and there's some things I got a chance to take for a spin, and it's not as hard as and some of it is either not as hard as I thought or it's a little more to it than I expected. Like I could drive anything from 4 to 10 wheels and Caterpillar tracks. Like I took an M1 Abram for a spin. It's like sitting in a lazy boy and you got handlebars in front of you. That's basically what it is.
Like a motorcycle almost.
Almost, but the thing is, you turn it in one direction, go left, you turn in the other direction to go right. But you literally, like the driver's compartment, you literally feels like you're sitting in a lazy boy and you're under the turret. So if you open up the driver's hatch and you stick your head out, you're literally under the turret. But there's more than enough space to where the turret can move and it won't hit you. Because that's the first thing you're gonna think. You're thinking that thing's gonna hit you, and it's not. They got more than enough space. So when that spins, it ain't gonna clip you. But the even crazier part of
that I do know because I've seen enough documentaries. So it's like almost like a couple of inches off your head, but when it spins, it's like getting a haircut. Zoop.
Yeah, it just go. You just keep
you just feel the air. That's all you do.
But the even crazier part, that's a turbine engine. Most people didn't realize. Some people thought it was diesel. Like, nah, that's a jet engine. That's a turbine engine. They got turbine engines in that tank. That's why I can move so fast.
That I do know.
That's why I can move real fast. It moves faster than you expect. So you really like if you're going to give it some gas, you got to be mindful of it. And sometimes if you give it a little too much gas, you don't realize how fast you're going.
It can go up to miles. What is it? 55 to 60 miles?
Close to that. And I remember a situation. I don't mean to get off track. During my time in the Army, there was a course they had for guys to get certified to be work on a tank crew. And one of the things they did, they took them to this place. It was called the bathtub. It's a really big, like concrete pit with ramps. And what it is that it's the truck. It's basically a truck wash, basically. Like they fill it with water intentionally. You go in there to build your confidence to drive it in water. That way, because when you have the hatch in, when you're sitting in the troop hatch and the hatch is on, you got to learn to be comfortable and relaxed while you're going through the water and everything else. One student went through, kind of freaked out, and put a little bit too much gas in it. Went through the water, went up the ramp, went a little too fast, and that bad boy flew.
Shit.
Landed without a problem. Landed, everything was great. Problem was, the instructor inside the turret slipped and busted his knee.
Ooh.
So, yeah, he was going to be out for a while because of that. But like I said, those things are faster than you realize.
How long was he out for?
He was out for a few months. He was out for a few months. We were able to get him out. Like we helped the medic, like me and a couple of guys who were able to help the medics get him out of the turret, get him onto a stretcher. They sent him to them. They sent him. They got checked out, and yeah, he literally had a fractured kneecap. He had a fractured kneecap, and he had to have surgery and everything else. So he was out for a while. They just wrote it off as a training accident, so on and so forth. But other than that,
and accidents happen all the time.
Yeah, it does. So it wasn't like, oh my god, I'm in trouble. Oh my god, I'm gonna get nah. They're probably gonna say something, but they're not gonna.
Did I tell you what my buddy CQ once did? And we'll get back on track after this.
No, I gotta hear this.
Remember the old term, "stupid private"? It means stupid private. Really means it.
Yeah.
So I don't remember how he got to this point, but it was night. I don't know if he just got in from a deployment. I don't know if he just flew in. He was overseas.
Okay.
Somebody tells him get water, get diesel for the vehicles that float, or what are they called? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The amphibious vehicles.
Yeah, the amphibious one. Yeah.
Mike was yes, sir, no, sir. He runs over there fast again, and he didn't realize they were marked different, so he grabs the first one he sees. But that dumbass didn't realize that was water he put in there. He ran back, filled the thing in his diesel with water. So, no problem so far. The next day, the thing blows up pretty much. Mike goes, oh, someone's in trouble. Oh my God, he's gonna get smoked. Next minute, you know, here on Overcome, Mike Viscola, police report to the commander's office. What the fuck happened to me? He ran up there. He goes, yes, sir. Like, a guy can drop and give me push-ups right now. How many? I didn't tell you how many. I'll tell you when to stop. He's giving him like,
push till I get tired.
Yeah, like you are a dumb private, are you? Like I heard some dumb privates before, but damn, you're a really dumb private. Like if you go back, guys, go back into my playlist, and I did an interview with Mike, CQ from Pop Culture Warrior. He says the story in there. It's dumb, stupid. To the point, like, wow, Mike, how? So you're all saying, amphibious vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
I find need of water may help you float on water.
That's like one of those. It's one of those jokes that you get the new people, that you get the FNGs when they first come in. Like, yeah, you get like everyone has fallen victim to those jokes, to those pranks. And you're like,
you want to hear a good one? You want to hear a good prank?
Oh, I want to hear this one. I want to hear one.
I got 3 right in a row, and then we have to get back on this track.
Okay.
So I had a new employee working with me, and she goes, I'm probably the best cook you ever seen in your life. I'm like, really? Okay. I'm going to test you that. So if you guys don't know, I'm a chef by trade. And I tell her, I got you. I looked at her like, do me a favor. Can you go to the dry storeroom and get me the pink grease can? She goes, sure. No problem, Pete. I go there. Comes back a few minutes later. She goes, there's no grease, pink. It's in there. Just keep looking. You'll find it eventually. 2 hours later, she's still looking for it, bro.
Oh my God.
It gets even better. I got it. So I come in, she goes, she also said to my, then eventually she somehow, I don't know, she went to college in Jersey, and I hooked her up a job with my uncle. She went to my uncle. I'm the smartest girl you ever like. Man, this bitch will never fucking learn. She keeps opening her big mouth. So she goes, hey, do me a favor, write the specials on the board for me. And I walk in, I go, chicken lips over rice. I'm looking at it like that. Then I see further down, like other things, like they make chicken with lips, or my favorite one, crocodile toothbrush over pasta.
Oh my god. Oh my
As I
god.
walk into the kitchen and find out the hell's going on, and she's arguing with the cook. She's like, "Is that my cheeseburger? But my cheeseburger does not is that my cheeseburger? But there's no cheese on the cheeseburger. I need a cheeseburger." I'm like, it was looking at, that's not your order, lady.
That's like asking. That's like telling.
Wait, I'm done yet. She goes as the night goes on. She goes up to my uncle and goes, "Do I put milk in a milkshake?"
No, she did not say that.
Oh yeah, she did, bro.
Oh my god.
And my uncle looked at me and goes, "You were punking me more." You're like, "Yes, I was, bro, big time." Oh, I roasted his ass good on this one. You know that.
Oh my god, I can imagine. Sinclair, go. My goodness. I'm actually looking at the list on WWE's website, and they're talking about the 10 best WrestleMania entrances.
Let me hear it. We got.
All right, this is what they got. I'm going back to it. All right, number 10, the WrestleMania ring carts. What I was talking about. 9, Triple H at WrestleMania 22.
Mm-hmm.
Number 8, WrestleMania 6, Rhythm and Blues. The Honky Tonk Man, Greg the Hammer Valentine, and
I don't think that's a good one, to be honest with you, bro.
Really?
Yeah, it's a good for what it was. I don't think it was like top 10 on the thing. You know what I'm saying?
I guess what it was, because it was definitely something different. And if you look at it, it was something that was very different. I mean, you got to give Greg Valentine credit, because him pulling it off was like him pulling it off with the Honky Tonk Man. And from what I heard, the Honky Tonk Man is an actual Elvis impersonator.
Back in the day, before he became a wrestling guy, yeah.
Yeah. So for them to pull it off with Jimmy Hart riding on the pink Cadillac, I mean, you can't go wrong with it. It's Elvis Presley, and it's something tribute to Elvis Presley. Number 7, John Cena, the 25th anniversary of WrestleMania. Kind of taking a page out of Eminem with the clones, with the Slim Shady clones.
I think that was one of his best ones.
Yeah. 6, Edge, WrestleMania 25. WrestleMania 25. No, WrestleMania 24. This is when they were outdoors in Orlando. 5, Undertaker, WrestleMania 20. When he went back to being the dead man, and he's walking under the arc of flames and everything else. Let's see.
And Paul Bear. Undertaker.
Number 4, Shawn
It's
Michaels.
kind of creepy how good I am at that.
Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 12, the one I was talking about, the one he did the zip line.
Mm-hmm.
That was courageous. That was definitely courageous.
And you know what? He's probably shitting his ass when he's doing that, because remember what happened to Owen Hart?
Hart, that's right. I think this was this before or after Owen Hart? I'm trying to remember. I think this was before Owen Hart. Oh, after. And I think that's why people were surprised that they actually did something like this.
But it was different too. Owen Hart was straight down.
Yeah.
This is what it was, a shot straight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, on top of the arena and everything else.
Yeah. Another good one, really fast before we move on this, when he Triple H did with the band who does his theme song, Motorhead, I think it is.
Yeah.
That was not that. He actually, Triple H was a really good friends with the lead singer after they made his song.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, when he passed, it actually really got to him. It hit him hard.
Yeah. Lemmy. I forgot his last name. I'm trying to remember his last name. Lemmy. Oh God. I forgot his name, but I know.
Believe it or not, people don't know this, but it is a second version of that song too, by Drawing Pool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a really good version too. I like the Drawing Pool version better personally.
Okay, I gotta look that up. I never got check it out. Number 3.
If you don't find it, let me know. I'll send it to you.
All right, cool. Thanks. All right,
and guys, I apologize. We can't show any videos or like that because copyright strikes. We're gonna get strike right and left from WWE.
Yeah. 3, Triple H, WrestleMania 27. 2, Shawn Michaels, the one you were talking about from WrestleMania 25.
Oh, the God version.
Yeah, the white cowboy and everything else. And number 1, John Cena, WrestleMania 23, when he's driving the black, was that a Vet or a Camaro? It looked like a
Oh,
Camaro.
a Mustang.
Oh, it was a Mustang. Oh, it makes sense because that was in Detroit. So yeah, it had to be a Mustang.
I don't think Cena was driving that because that was the way it was driving so well like that. I think they had somebody else, and it took a minute for him to get out of the car. If you realize,
Okay, so he probably was riding in the back then.
back or passenger seat. I think he was probably in the passenger seat. It'd be faster for him to jump over than the back seat. It'd be more jumping over and all that stuff.
Right.
But I'm looking at it right now. Hang on. Yeah, it is a Mustang.
And they're at
It's
Ford
a
Field.
GT500 Shelby Mustang, actually, when they first came back.
Okay. And well, it's in Detroit. It's at Ford Field, so it's only fitting you got to have a Mustang.
And here's the thing with that too, bro. It's the windows are all blacked out, tinted completely.
Exactly.
And he came for inches. I mean, literally, if you watch the video, inches going through the stage. There's no way somebody who's not a professional driver can get that accuracy so well. You know what I'm saying?
No, I hear what you're saying. That's true.
And I do think it was a stunt driver for another reason and another reason I think it is a driver and Cena he was in a passenger seat, not in the back, because it's not a lot of room in his back seat, in the Mustangs.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Plus, also the fact that they're driving in a football stadium and the way it's set up, you really have to be that skilled of a driver to do.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it would make sense that you had someone doing it, and then you had Cena come out act like it as if it was him.
Yeah. I don't think they would have had Cena drive like something like that because of the risk behind it, because they're not going to hurt their performer on a main event, their main stage of them all. WrestleMania is like an icon to get on that stage.
That is true. And I found out it's Lemmy Kilminster. Thanks, Eric. I was trying to get his last name. Thank you. I was having a brain fart, and I got a little distracted too.
That's a big one for me personally.
No, definitely. So it's like, who's going to have that entrance this week coming up?
Who do you think is going to have a great entrance? I think Roman Reigns is going to be one of them.
I think there was one. I'm trying to remember. There was one that he did where they had an actual choir singing his theme.
I believe. I might be wrong on that. I think it was when he faced Cody the first time.
Oh, that's right. That was in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Because ironically, people didn't know Roman Reigns played college football at Georgia Tech.
And he probably could call, hates me, Georgia Tech, that's his alma mater and everything. They definitely do that. What about Randy Savage with his new girlfriend at the time, whatever it was? When he broke up with Elizabeth, it was a different girl, woman managing him.
Was it sensational? It wasn't Sensational Sherry. No, it was was it Sensational Sherry?
I don't know. I don't remember. They were in a throne, I remember.
Oh, I think he won King of the Ring that year. That's what I think he won King of the Ring before WrestleMania, wasn't it? Was it King of the Ring before or after WrestleMania at one time?
Here's a good one. Edge, WrestleMania 30th, when he came up with the chair in the flames, he was in a throne and they're all flame. They're going back to his old character, his original character.
Yeah, the Brood entrance. That's honestly, I still think that's one of the best entrances. Like, that's by far to me one of the best entrances. Edge, Christian, Gangrel, the three of them standing together, coming up. Like, you see the flame, you see the outline of the flames, and then you see the three of them coming up. It's like, that's an entrance right there. That's an entrance.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that that was like one of the things that they did and it worked.
And they've brought that back too.
I'm glad. Yeah. Because by far, you got to have courage to go through that. And I remember Gangrel said on a podcast, I think the first time they did that, he tripped, but he caught himself to where you didn't think he tripped. He tripped and almost burned himself.
In the eliminator chamber was a flamethrowers and what's his name? Undertaker got caught on fire, and you see him sprinting at one point. And during the match, during the elimination chamber, they're handing him bottles of water, and he's literally throwing water because his skin is completely on fire.
Ugh, that hurt.
Yeah, WrestleMania 30th with Stone Cold coming back with Kevin Owens. Is it Kevin Owens? Yeah, Kevin Owens interviewed him in the middle of the ring, and he had his the 4-wheeler again back.
Ah, okay.
I always liked the 4-wheeler, gimmick.
I like the beer truck. I remember when he came in on Raw with the beer truck and the hose. That was
shit. Here's a better one for you. When Kurt Angle did a similar one with the milk truck.
yes. But that's what I mean by Kurt Angle is you got to give him credit because the fact that he was able to do that with the milk truck was awesome. Like, he's the only one that can pull it off.
But he also said in the story, when he was flying out that day, he was wearing his same shoes he was in there, and it stunk the whole plane up.
Ooh. Yes. Do you mind? Thank you. Yes, it was. Oh my God. Are you trying to tell me how to work on this show? Okay, can I thank you. Yes, I'm working right now.
No, Daddy.
Yes, okay. Can I can I please? Yeah, he sees you.
No.
Yes, he sees you. You can wave, say hi. Wave to him. Wave to Mr. Peter, say hi. See, he sees you.
Daddy.
Yeah, he sees you. Can I go back to work now?
Okay, Daddy.
All right, thank you. I got to go back to work.
The only thing I think they need to update Cody Rhodes' entry because all the main pay-per-views or PBLs, whatever you want to call them now these days, because they changed the name.
I know.
He comes in with that big helmet he always wears.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the same thing over and over and over. Nothing changes with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He's got to be willing to try something different. Is he willing to try something different?
I don't think it's even him. Don't forget, I said beginning of the show, I don't know if you caught my beginning opening monologue was, I blame TKO where everything is. And now the words are fun. The pipe bomb 2.0.
Yes.
CM Punk said it. TKO is the major problem right now.
And he's right.
And I was watching a video with one of the Dudley boys have their own YouTube channel now.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And he said, when you mix corporate with wrestling, you can't do that.
Yeah. No, you can't. Because corporate's going to be thinking too much more about protecting the brand than putting something out there that's going to get people's attention and want more.
Yeah. Or about WrestleMania 34 with Triple H and Stephanie coming on down the bikes and like the whole.
Yeah, that's true. That's
another one.
Mm-hmm. I'm working here, Sinclair. Sinclair, you got to stop this.
Can't be home.
Yes, I know, but I'm working here. I mean, but for Stephanie McMahon to go with it, you got to give her credit.
Sorry, Daddy.
She's always been a very good sport about doing things, but sometimes she needs to put her foot down too because some things they ask her to do is like, I have kids to have to worry about.
Yeah, back then, like before they got married, back then, okay, no problem, no big deal. Now, what kind of message am I trying to send to the girls? And they have daughters, and that's the thing, they have daughters.
Yeah,
you know?
2 of them, I think. I'm not mistaken.
I think 3. No, I think it's 3. I think they have 3 daughters.
Is it 3?
Yeah, I think they had 3.
I've been corrected before.
Yeah, I think they.
Do you see them coming into the business at one point?
70s kids?
Or H's kids, whoever you want to call it.
Oh, okay. The Levesque kids?
Daddy.
I can see one of them. I can see one. And then, of course, Shane has his kids. I know his son was playing football in North Carolina. I don't know if he's still playing there or not. I think Shane has 3 kids also, 2 boys and a girl.
I know he has 3 kids. I think it's 1 boy or 2 girls, like you said.
Oh, okay. But I know for a fact. Don't be surprised. I know his son's playing college football because I read an article about it, and Shane was enjoying just being a dad, just watching his kids grow up and everything. So I won't be surprised if things don't work out after his college career that he does go into the business. That would be real interesting to see.
Yeah. Another one, it was WrestleMania 34 with Shika Kazumupul. I can't pronounce his goddamn name.
Oh,
I'm sorry?
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah, they had the violin, and I've never been a fan of any of his entries because it's like weird in my opinion. Like he does all this moving. I never like even when he went a little dark, and like I still didn't like it.
I honestly, it's different. That's why hey, Sinclair, that is enough. It's different. I think that's what it is. The music is different. The fact that it's a violin and everything, it's not.
Yeah, which makes it more original.
Yeah, it does. It definitely makes it original. It definitely makes it one of a kind.
The music doesn't bother me. The way he comes out, I'm like
what? Like you think he's having a seizure or something?
yeah.
Oh wow!
What the hell?
He finds a way to make it flow. So,
But
hey,
again, you know, he's Japanese, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I believe so. Yes.
I think over there is like that's common, little stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Something like that. Ooh, really, Eric? That's a nice choice of words right there. Wow.
What do you guys think about the Rock's one with the flamethrower?
I swear. But
That I think tied into when he was doing the movie G.I. Joe. That's why. I think that's what it was. It was a tie into he was doing G.I. Joe, and I think there was the second one, not the first one.
He didn't do the first one. He only did the second one.
Oh, he did the second one. That's right.
Yeah, because he was the main character. They killed off half the Joes.
Yeah, I remember that. That's why I was kind
Yeah.
of like, really? Yeah, I did this? No. But now they're trying to find a way to bring it back in a different way. If you saw any of them, like if you saw Transformers, the last one they did, I think it was kind of, I don't know if it was a prequel or it was a different segment of the storyline. Because if I remember, that Transformers movie was supposed to take place in the year 1994. And the reason why I remember that because they were talking about the Knicks in the finals, how it was in New York that summer of 94. I graduated high school that year. I remember it like it was yesterday.
You know which entry of WrestleMania that I don't like?
Which one?
And it's partially because I don't like the performer.
And okay, who's
Bad
that?
Bunny.
Really?
I cannot stand Bad Bunny. I'll be
Really?
honest, I cannot stand him. I think he has one of the worst voices I ever heard anybody sing. It feels like he has the most squeakiest voice ever. It has nothing to do because he's Spanish or anything like it has nothing to do with that. His voice is just horrible. You know what I'm saying?
He couldn't wrestle. He's very good.
Barely.
Yeah.
Can he really wrestle? You can really say he wrestles? I think Joey Rowe does a better job than he does.
Oh wow.
what the fuck?
I'll say it, dude. I'll fucking say it.
Get
think
the
Joey Rowe
fuck
does
out
better
of
than-
here. No, get the
Bro,
fuck
no
outta
fucking
here.
way.
Get
You
the
cannot
fuck
say-
out of here.
You
Get
cannot
the
sit there and
fuck
tell
out of
me
here. I'm sorry.
that Bunny is better than
This
freaking
this
J
shit
Rowe.
right here for me. Yeah, get this the fuck shit out of here. You're gonna tell me someone that barely was dying on his limbs in a match was better than the guy that actually moved better than him? Okay, yeah, all right.
He really
Next
moved.
thing
You
you're
really
gonna tell
think
me
he moved,
is
bro?
The Miz is the greatest wrestler than Triple H. That's what you're gonna tell me next too. The fuck?
No. Triple H is
Well, you
10
may
times
as
better
well.
than
You may
Miz.
as well. You may as well admit it. You may as well. The fuck?
Bro, if you're a Bad Bunny fanboy, I get it, bro. You're gonna say that.
No, that's not even the case. I didn't say nothing to you when you talked about his voice was squeaky. But the fact that you're saying here saying that he doesn't move better in the ring than Jelly Roll out of all people, really? Get the fuck out of here. Get the hell out of here.
Okay, I
He
got one
moved
for you
better
there,
than the
buddy.
Miz
What
moved
did you
when he
think
got
about
into the game.
the Fiend with WrestleMania 37 on 37 it was. Yeah. When he comes out from the box.
Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt has some great entries, even regular entries.
Yes. Whether it's as Bray Wyatt or as the Fiend.
Bro, his story, I don't care if it was the Wyatt family, the Fiend, his stories he wrote for that. Incredible. His mind. Yeah, it was a fucking mind. He got given credit on that.
But hey, he found a way. But I gotta give credit to Cena during his last match when he did Sister Abigail. Everybody went crazy, and then next year all of a sudden you saw a tear in his eye. It was like that was for him, and the Fireflies.
Absolutely.
That was awesome. I was just like, yo, that's a fitting tribute right there. Like, wow, like he just did, like he came out of nowhere, did Sister Abigail. I'm like, what? And then when you saw the fans come out, and like all the fans brought the Fireflies, you saw tears in their eyes. It was like, yo, that was fitting.
Yeah, what I thought was kind of cheesy was Charlotte Flair helicopter in WrestleMania 35.
Tribute to her dad.
It was tribute. It was a great tribute. I'm not denying that. But I thought it was kind of cheesy at that point.
Well, it was a tribute to her dad, Ric Flair. I think one of the first I think it was an AWA or NWA pay-per-view. I don't think it was I think it was Starrcade, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I remember. I think it was Starrcade, and he helicopter into the to the stadium. It was outdoors too. It was an outdoor stadium. He literally flew, landed. They flew a helicopter there. Nah. But anywho, he flew, he rode onto a helicopter landed. He gets out literally in his robe and everything else, ready to wrestle. And it was an outdoor stadium somewhere in the South. I forgot where it was at. And that was one of the things that, that was one of the things that put Ric Flair on the map as the Nature Boy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, for Charlotte to do the same thing, that was a fit. Great American Bash, thank you. Because there was a lot of thank you. There were a lot of pay-per-views that they had, and it was kind of hard to remember which one it was, because Starrcade, Great American Bash, Bash at the Beach, a lot of them, War Games, a lot of those old AWA, WCW pay-per-views, they found a way to make names for themselves, and that it was Great American Bash. Thanks, Eric. But when he did that, that was like, that's how he made his entrance. He talked about that he was high flying, limousine riding, wearing fancy shoes, fancy suits, the Rolex watches. And
hang on 1 second. Let me get this guy in here really fast. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our president. Mr. President, how are you doing tonight?
I'm okay. Just very busy, so I just tried to get in towards the end of the show. But how you doing, Wally? Good to see you, man.
So, Paul, what is your favorite wrestler?
Well, he was in the middle of a point. Let him finish his.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, basically, it was like that was the persona. High flying, jet flying, limousine riding, fancy shoes, the Rolex.
I'm not denying that. I think it's overdone at this point because how often they do that. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what it was? I think that was a way to pay tribute to her father. That was one way to pay tribute to her father, because for anyone that remembers those days, that's what they did. That's what it was. Okay. That's why WWF came up with WrestleMania, because of Starrcade.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and that's how it was. It was that was the pay-per-views. It was those big wrestling shows. It was those big events, and it drew a lot of people. And one of the best ones that I remember also was that I remember reading about was War Games. And
that was Dusty Rhodes' creation.
Hey, but look what it did.
Oh, it's a great creation.
Yeah, like 2 rings and a cage and everything else. That was like, unheard of.
And
And
the rules, how it was like different too.
Yeah. And they found a way to make it worked. It worked so well.
Yeah.
I hated Dusty as a booker, though. I really did.
You
The
know, like,
Dusty finish, I could not stand it. That was
wow, for real, huh?
yeah. It'd be like a guy would win the championship hands down, but then there was some because of some interference or some crazy thing or whatever. The guy would not win the belt or something. He always found a way to screw the guy who was like the rightful winner of the show. So it's like all his cards ended in these controversies and whatnot, and whether it be the referee or something like that, or it was just something always just to like you think, okay, now it's this guy's time, but he kept just holding off. I guess he was trying to build up to really make it count, I guess, but he kept milking that after a while. But I hated the way Dusty promoted wrestling. But
Hey, well then again, look at Ric Flair, aka the dirtiest player in the game.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, it's a good point there. So, Paul, which one's your favorite WrestleMania entrance?
It's not like I've played a ton of attention to those. I would say the one that probably really let me know that things were different was really not too long ago. And that was with and again I'm gonna butcher the name, but the Japanese wrestler Sensei.
Shinsuke.
Yeah. His when you had the brother came out with the violin, and then you had this stream of violinists coming into the ring. That was like the first time I said this is because I mean the first probably 10 or so, or maybe even up to 20 WrestleMania entrances, it was like the guys, whoever the guys' theme music was, maybe to a little bit more pageantry or something, but it was the same music. The guy did his walkout or whatnot before they became these major productions. And so, but when I saw Shinsei's, it was, and again, I've gone probably the last 10, 15 years or so, I've been in and out with wrestling. So I haven't been following everything the way I used to. My daughter and I were going to a Saturday night main event over summer at the Garden, Madison Square Garden. So that'll give me a foray sort of back into things, and I'll probably check out some of the WrestleMania this weekend. But that let me know right there is like, yes, we are in very different times. And the fact that they're going to put that much stagecraft into an entrance, that blew me away. So that's probably the one I probably still remember the most as far as the others. I mean, Undertaker always had his, thematic entrances and things of that nature. But I thought the Shinsei one was like really, and it was the kind of, I was saying to myself, it's like, man, you're going to put that much into it that he actually may beat AJ Styles. But you saw how the match ended, and then he did a heel turn, and after the match and everything. But it was that one's probably the most memorable that I can recall, because like I said, everything else was basically the standard ring walks out to the ring, and nothing's spectacular about it. But again, they really updated the stagecraft on it. So yeah, I'd probably say his.
Yeah, I always liked the Undertaker when he came back in WrestleMania 20 as the Dead Man, with everybody came out with the flames, and Paul Bearer comes on, Undertaker, and he saw him coming out. It's so creepy how well I do that, and that was always my number one top one. They had a few ones out there over the years, but the one that they never done anything too crazy, and they only did one little over the top was like you said before on Roman Reigns when he was at by the university, and his alma mater came out and sung. But Roman Reigns was being like very basic over every year, and he's the one you think he was going to go over the top because they're trying to push him as the face of the company at some point. But no, I don't see anything special about him. I wonder if they're going to do anything special for CM Punk tomorrow night or Sunday night. I can't remember what night he's wrestling.
Right, he's wrestling Sunday night. You know what would be great for him to do? You know what would be great? If you saw Living Color playing the theme, playing Cult Personality.
They did that once already.
Hey, Hey, why not? It's
Do it
WrestleMania.
again. Yeah.
It's WrestleMania. Like you hear it, and then you look on stage and you see them playing, and then you see CM Punk come out. Oh, forget about it. Like that's definitely gonna work. That's definitely gonna be one of those things you look at like, yeah, that's how you do it. Like to come out to your theme song played by the group that's playing your song, it just adds that extra element to it. So don't be surprised if that happens.
You know, I'm gonna get shit for this because I always like Bill Goldberg's entry.
Really?
Yeah. I always enjoyed it. Maybe it's these little childhood memories because it was during my era into
Right.
the real era of wrestling. It was like towards the end of the Monday Night Raw, Monday Night Wars,
Yeah.
into the ruthless era and aggressive era, all that stuff. And hear the knock, and like it's time, Bill, and he busted through that door. Like even Survivor Series, he did a great. I loved it. He busted his head open in the process. But I know people talk shit. Oh, he's not a good wrestler. He's not good this. I'm like, but he has a good entrance. Think about it. His entrance is very memorable.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with that.
That's true. One wrestler, honestly, one wrestler that did like we all remember Edge when he was with the Brood, but when he comes out the Alter Bridge, that is like I remember when he first made his return to the Royal Rumble when it was in Houston that year, and when he was and when you heard Alter Bridge, you're sitting there like what? And I remember they was showing they were showing a video of this. I think it was a bar. I don't know if it was in Houston or anything else. They were showing the Royal Rumble. And when they heard Edge's song came out, they went bananas.
I remember that. It was like it feels like it just happened.
He was like everybody was jumping up and down, going crazy. And I remember the look on Edge's face when he came out. And
I thought he was gonna cry.
He was. It looked like he was about to cry. He was like, "Oh my god!"
He was emotional because this was a journey years in the making.
Yeah.
Think about it. His injury sidelined him for years. He did a couple of appearances here and there, couple of spears, but not like in like a whole match.
Right.
When I saw him back there, I'm like, like I was like looking at this, like,
because when
am I on the right channel here?
I didn't watch that Royal Rumble. Somebody told me about it. My friend Alex called me up and said, "Yo, guess who came back in the Royal Rumble?" Like who? And he was like, Edge. I'm like, what? And I went and saw the replay of it. And when I saw it come out, I'm like, you got to be kidding. And I
was screaming at the TV when it happened. I was screaming at the TV.
Stadium was going nuts.
Yep.
And he came out like they still remember me. They still love me. And also he had that look of, I didn't think I would ever be back to hear this ever again. And I remember when he walked out, he just almost had tears in his eyes. He's walking out slowly, having moments with the fans that they just like, thank you for coming back. We miss you. And like, to me, that's one of the best entrances, not in WrestleMania, but that's definitely one of the best entrances from a pay-per-view. Edge's return in the Royal Rumble. And the fact that people like that was one of those moments where I know if the wrestlers, if they would have stopped just to clap, to have him, just to see him back, they would have done that. They would have stopped mid-action, turned, saw him, and applauded, saying, "Welcome back." And I think everybody would be okay with that. So I think that's one of the best entries right there. Not from WrestleMania, but definitely that had to be by far one of the best entrances was Edge coming back after being out for so long and after being told that he's going to have to retire. And I know that was something he did not want to do, and he really wanted to prove people wrong. So when
if you think about it, remember a few years later, then he got inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Because he was, I think, was one of the best performers in our generation.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Like he loves everything about the business. He loves
Him and his best friend Christian too.
Yeah, they love everything about this business. I mean, he takes pride. I mean, of course, because he's Canadian, he takes pride being trained by the Hearts, going to the dungeon and training with the Hearts.
And I think that's how he met his wife. Met his wife training at the dungeon.
Yeah, a lot of the
His second wife, I should say.
yeah, and I think people forget a lot of the Canadian wrestlers: Edge, Christian, Lance Storm. I think Chris Benoit trained there too. Brian Pillman. All those guys trained at the dungeon. One person that I never like, the British Bulldog, he married into the family, of course. I think Dynamite Kid as well. The Anvil, Jim Neidhart as well. But one person that I did not know that was also technically part of the family, Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
I knew he was part of he was connected to the family.
You're joking, right?
Seriously.
I never knew that.
Yeah, I know he trained it. Now, again, as far as part of the family, from what I understand, I don't know if he married in. I don't know if his wife or anybody was
He was a cousin.
related.
I think he was a cousin.
Maybe, because I know he is from Saskatchewan. I think so. So it's possible for sure.
And his family emigrated from Scotland. I think his family did emigrate to Saskatchewan from Scotland.
Mm.
But I remember
I knew he's definitely has Scottish roots, definitely, because the way he talks, the way he acts.
Yeah, the brogue, and then he always rocked the kilt too.
Yeah, and he might be like the only guy. I don't know of any other wrestlers who did that. Certainly back then, it was definitely very rare. So the fact he wore it the way he did, and now I would say this: as much as I hated him, now I hated Roddy. I mean, I can't. I will never forgive him for the Snooker coconut incident. Never.
Oh.
But that being said, his entrance with the bagpipes with the band coming in, that was fire. That was fire too. I'll give credit to that. That was impressive.
When you heard those drums,
they did that twice actually. The bagpipes. What's his name? The Scottish who wrestles now.
McIntyre.
I'm sorry?
Not Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, Drew McIntyre came out with bagpipes too one time, but he came out with a real sword and he stabbed it to the ground, and then that music kicked in, the drums and everything, or live band he had. I mean, like that was sick. I'll give him credit. That was sick. I liked it. Yeah. Even Drew McIntyre he's not my top favorite wrestler, but I do respect what he does.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, guys, did you guys talk about the Hall of Fame class going in?
I'm actually going to bring it up right now. Go ahead.
Okay. Now I know, like on the sports show that I do, I'm pretty known for stating my opinion on who is and who is not a Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
Like I do that for the NFL, for the NBA, for MLB. I'm like, not a Hall of Famer. Guy got in because of compiling numbers or not enough on the resume. Like the Hall of Fame is becoming the Hall of the Very Good, instead of the elites. I just think that anybody who you put into any Hall of Fame, they should be worthy of that, and not just an honor. Or if you want to have like an honorarium section, I guess you can do that. Special contributors. But I mean, when you got like Bob Ueger's in the WWE Hall of Fame, Mr. T's in the WWE Hall of Fame, a lot of these actors and entertainers are in the WWE Hall of Fame. I just think that just clouds the what it is, because I'm still old school enough to know that I think the guys who really pay their dues in the business, I think those guys you should certainly honor. Even going back to before it was called developmental talent, when you had basically jobbers in the ring. And a lot of times those guys got their awards not on the main stage. They always kind of got it off the stage. So if you go back to guys like Johnny Rods and Baron Miguel Cicluna and just a lot of those kind of old school heels who always showed up every week, I think those guys, certainly they paid their dues a lot of years in the ring. But some celebrity shows up and they make an appearance, and you want to give them a Hall of Fame because of that. I mean, that rubs me the wrong way.
For example, this year they have Desmond Roman in there as celebrating the inductee.
Yeah, unless you just want to have a celebrity wing, okay, have it. But
I think
I
that's what
just
they're
don't like.
doing now.
Yeah, I don't like it when they used to mix it up together. I mean,
Yeah.
I just think that's all.
I
But
believe because
even
it says here on their website, celebrity inductee. I think they have a celebrity section now.
That's good.
yeah, but I mean Dennis Rodman. I mean, really, first of all, he did most of his wrestling stuff when he was in WCW.
Yep.
But even then, I wouldn't put him in. I wouldn't put Karl Malone, who is also another basketball player from the Utah Jazz. I wouldn't put him in. I mean, I just think that, you're just looking for clout, just putting these names up because they're names famous or infamous that had really nothing to do with the wrestling business, or their role in wrestling was, again, extremely limited.
They
And I
had
just
Let me
think a
ask you a
lot of
question,
guys
Cole.
jump to the front of the line, and a lot of guys who should be in someone's Hall of Fame, if not the WWE Hall of Fame. But like I said, some of the developmental talent, like Eric remembers, what's that, George South or Greg South? I mean, this guy jobbed out every week on TBS on the Superstation every week. But you talk to any wrestlers, they'll tell you he was the best guy to work with. It was like a night off. He was butter. He took falls, he took bumps. It was like an easy to work with because he was so good at wrestling. They just never gave him a push. And that was the thing. Also, a lot of your success depended on whether or not they thought you could sell in one way or another. But he had certainly the skill set.
I
But
mean,
then
a couple other jobbers too. Iron Mike Sharp,
yeah,
Horowitz,
yeah,
Lombardi, when he was, and one of his famous characters was always the Brooklyn Brawler.
yeah. Eric just mentioned Pete Rose. I mean, come on. I mean,
Like,
it's
you had a very good
Mike Tyson. Yeah, Mike Tyson. He refereed one match between it was like Triple H and a Heartbreak Kid or something like that. Or so I mean, yeah, I just think that if you want to make it for real, then I think you need to have some criteria guys who, yes, box office, yes, they made you money, yes, they were great performers. And I think those guys need to be recognized. So from what I understand, this year's class, Stephanie McMahon, obviously, CEO, she could have went in years ago, I guess. But well, I'm saying back at the time, I'm saying right. But I'm saying she could have been in the years ago, but
True.
I guess with everything getting dicey with the family and everything, and so I guess they're putting her in now. Who knows? Maybe Shane will come in next year. I don't know if he's not in already. AJ Styles is definite. Demolition is definitely.
Demolition's too.
What's that?
Demolition's long overdue.
Well,
I know
totally.
Yeah, I know people use the call them out saying, "Oh, they're biting off of the Road Warriors / Legion of Doom. All these guys are just like a cheap version of them." But the music, the hockey masks with the all black and everything, it worked. It worked for them.
Yeah.
And when you look at, and the fact that people forget there were three guys, it was Axe, Smash, and Crush. And when Axe couldn't wrestle for a period of time, Crush would step in for him.
Crush came in later. I mean, Demolition, they were kind of like, staying us for years. And Crush was almost like a late addition to the group. It's almost like what they did with Legion of Doom after a while when Hawk was having his issues, whatever. They brought in a third guy who kind of would fill in if he missed the show or something like that. But definitely long overdue. Now, Sid Vicious or Psycho Sid, I would definitely say that should have came a while ago.
Yeah.
I think that's long overdue. Now it's interesting. Bad News Brown. I'm kind of, it's like, look, it's not like you have a ton of African American inductees. I get all that, but he was a mid Carter for a good portion of his time in WWE. He wasn't that, he wasn't that great. I know the guy has a but
you're being too harsh now.
Yeah. But if you want to talk about like real like performers or whatever, I mean, he was a B level talent. Now in real life, I know the guy was a judo. I don't know, it was like in the Olympics or something like that. He was a real judo expert or something like that back in the. And I know he competed in a lot of shows in Japan, a lot of shoot matches in Japan and all that. I know, so he was like a legit tough guy. He's like one of those guys that's like, guys you don't want to mess with outside the ring. He would be one of those guys. I would definitely say that. But I never thought he really sold while he was there. The angle that he did with Piper with the black white thing, with Piper coming out half a split face painted black, the other one side painted white. I just think they just milked that. I think way too much. And from whatever, and the surprising thing to me is for everything that every time I heard him interviewed, he didn't have a great time in WWE. So, I would think the fact that they even offer it to him, the fact that he's even taking it is a little surprising to me, given that he didn't necessarily think he was utilized the way he should have back then, and you know, but he doesn't come to mind. It's like, okay, like who's a Hall of Famer? Like
I,
my thing is, if you say the name, I should say yes right away. Like Sid, yes,
oh,
that should have been a no brainer. Sid Vicious or Psycho Sid or Sid, Sid Yuli, definitely a Hall of Famer. I don't see what, like I said, I don't see
One
what took
thing I
so
heard
long.
about Sith, and like he might saw this badass character or asshole, whatever, on TV. He was the sweetest guy in the backstage, helping everybody out. So I'll back you up on that, Paul. I think he should be inducted a long time ago, not now.
right.
Yeah,
And they've been. I remember when Hall of Fame was Hall of Fame back in the
Yeah,
day, and it was something like Hogan got inducted. Fuck what he did. That's a
yeah.
different story.
yeah.
You
Stone
had Joe.
Cold, The Rock. I mean, there's certain guys you just
I'm
know.
gonna push back on The Rock because the year of the whole film of Rock, there was his whole family got inducted that year. That's all there was about The Rock that one year, if you remember.
Well, again, now the Samoans. Now look, they go back to the '70s. I grew up watching the Samoans. They were the Demolition or the Legion of Doom of that era.
Yeah.
They dominated everybody.
The
So
twins.
so they were definitely, if they weren't in the Hall of Fame by then, they definitely should have got in.
Oh,
Rocky
they're in.
Johnson definitely should have gotten in
Yeah.
a long time ago. And Cheap Peter Maivia, I mean, come on, he's like the patriarch of the
Of the family.
that whole family. So
I'm not
yeah,
saying
so
on that, Paul. What I'm saying that they should split it up a little bit because that one year was like The Rock was who was hosting it. Then it was his they started from the bottom. His grandfather, then his uncles. Not denying that they all should have been in Hall of Fame. I agree with that. But split it up a little bit because he could. It was like it wasn't Hall of Fame. It was the Rock show. I felt almost.
You felt like it was a tribute to the. You felt like it was definitely a tribute to like the Anoa'i.
yeah, and that's vein. I don't mind it, especially like I said, the fact that those guys weren't in earlier. Again, I don't know why the Wild Samoans weren't in. They should have way been in there a decade or so earlier. But again, I guess once the show started getting big, because back then, like I said, it was like literally like they didn't even broadcast the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean, it just kind of grew over time to become televised, and it became bigger and bigger over the years. But to say that those guys weren't in it, I mean, that was definitely something that was surprising. So I didn't mind the format if you want, and especially if you want to talk about the legacy of it. I mean, and it is one. I mean, think about it. In any sport, the Inoue family and that tree and that legacy of participants in
The Fatu.
wrestling,
Wow.
it hasn't been replicated, I think, in any other sport.
That's true.
Ever. I mean, you've had fathers and sons play and stuff like that, but not to that not to that extent. So again, the noise in general, and that if you look at that whole family tree and hierarchy, it's remarkable. Their contributions to wrestling, period. So yeah, if you wanted to have an Hanoi wing in the WWD and put all those guys in there,
Family as well.
yeah, yeah. I would love to. I would love to. I would love to see that. But that's just my thing. I think Hall of Fames you shouldn't doubt
Yeah.
whether or not someone belongs in there. Bad News Brown didn't win any championships. Didn't have a major title run of any kind. Like I said, he had his biggest claim to fame, especially in the WWF at the time, was his feud with Piper. Which again, like I said, I didn't like the energy in terms of how they sold that. And then the other thing you got to think about is it's the WWE Hall of Fame. And I know they basically got everybody. I know they got all the libraries of all these other promotions. But, and this might be the most controversial thing I say, should it be WWF, WWF, or WWE talent So you want to put the Rock and Roll Express in. They
Mhm.
did that a few years ago. Now, again, they were monsters in the NWA. No question about it. But Vince McMahon Jr. left the NWA, left the, the collective and that whole thing, started his own thing, bought everybody out. Now I get it. You want to honor these legendary wrestlers in these other territories in the territory era. But to say that they're in the WWE Hall of Fame, I'm how do you guys feel about that? Or maybe they should do, again, split it up some more. There's an NWA Hall of Fame and there's a UWF Hall of Fame and there's a whatever. And just to let you guys know that these guys, like the Rock and Roll Express, never once competed in the WWF.
Or the
Ever.
Freebirds. I think the same goes with the fellas Freebirds as well.
Freebirds had a couple shows. Their debut was in Philly. Cyndi Lauper brought them out, but they were a disaster. They missed shows. They were drinking and drugging all the time. They were disastrous. So I can't even, as a Hall of Famer, yeah. And it's not even the Freebirds because you got they had Ronnie Garvin as
problem with
one
that
of the
Hall-
Freebirds.
I'm not arguing. I agree with 100% with these different things, but I'll give you a good example why it's not going to work out. They had for a while. It's called the Ultimate Warriors Award. All right, it was like for like people who are above and beyond. Like the one kid who was a big fan of wrestling who died from cancer. He got the Ultimate Warrior Award. It started in 2014. Excuse me.
Mhm.
And they discontinued it in 2019 because the fans didn't want to, is they one is just it's no actual Hall of Fame for WWE. It's just an award. It's not where somewhere you can go visit. They have the tights up in the air, awards, and you get the idea. They don't have
Right.
a physical building.
Right. But here's another problem I have with it, though. Now, Vince McMahon Jr. also made the decision to take wrestling out of the name, right? If you go to these other promotions, these were professional wrestling or wrestling promotions.
Yep.
These guys were known for their wrestling. You took that away from the vernacular. Like, for understanding meetings, you couldn't even mention wrestling. You had to say sports entertainment when you're in creative meetings and whatnot. So again, you're bringing these guys in. I get they need to be honored in some way or another, but I think you're putting guys in who, again, from the legacy of these organizations. I mean, they didn't last. Either they didn't last because you outdid them or you bought them out or what have you. But do you want to make a guy an inductee because you bought them out, not because they did anything for WWE's business? If that makes sense.
No,
Yeah. Really fast. Sorry, Anton, I didn't mean to cut you off. With Eric's last statement saying he doesn't think there's some people are not going to be in a Hall of Fame. I'm sorry.
Yeah. See, and that drives me. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Wally.
No, I'm just saying the name because Peter didn't.
Yeah. I thank you. What I was going to say, and you can go off my. Paul, you can go next, and anytime you can jump back in. Is never say never, because we see other names that we didn't think is ever going to happen, and they batted the hatchet, and they came back. Ryder Popper was one of them. He had a lot of beef with Vince at one point. Walter Warrior, he wanted to rip. He got that guy's head completely off. The Steiners, and the names go on and on. People you think you're never going to see in there again, you see them now. So never say never.
Well, I'll say two things. One, I will give McMahon credit for this. He doesn't seem to hold grudges, because superstar Billy Graham. So again, you go back to the 70s. Him and Vince had a major falling out, and Graham was going on. He's the one who kind of exposed the business and talked about the drug use and all those kind of things. He got into the Hall of Fame. We all know what happened with Bret Hart and the Montreal screw job. He got into the Hall of Fame. So Vince will let bygones be bygones when it comes to, hey, let's bury the hatchet. I mean, Ultimate Warrior quit. In fact, he tried to blackmail McMahon at one of the WrestleManias or whatever. Said, "Look, I want this kind of money, or I'm leaving, or whatever." So Vince, I think, fired him at that point. But he was not a great champion when Vince did decide to put the belt on him. He fizzled as a champion, and he got more erratic, and we saw that certainly late on in his life and career. So he will bury the hatchet when it comes to certain guys. But as far as Eric's comment about Bruiser Brody, this is where I really have a problem, because you know who else is in the Hall of Fame? Who is in the Hall of Fame? Is Carlos Colon. Carlos Colon ran the Puerto Rican promotion, and he was there in the locker room when Bruiser Brody was deleted that night. And he knows who did it. He knows everything. He knows where all the bodies are buried, and never confessed anything. Yet put him in the Hall of Fame. Why? Because his son was a main eventer or something. I don't know why, but I wouldn't even touch Puerto Rico if you're gonna keep Bruiser Brody out because of the Puerto Rico incident. I keep all those guys. Anybody who was in that room that night, I'm not touching any of those guys. But I think it's an insult to Bruiser Brody when you put Carlos Colon in the Hall of Fame, who was in the locker room. He knows the guys who did it. Some people even speculated he might have been partially behind it. How you put that guy in the Hall, but you leave Bruiser Brody out? I got major problems with that. So the Hall of Fame is a little dicey to me. But my thing is, look, if you want to have, because you own all these libraries, if you want to have a separate category for NWA, AWA, UWF, Mid-South, these different eras,
Wrestling.
and if these guys didn't work actually under the WWF, WF, WE banner, I don't know if I'm putting them in. Because I mean they weren't, because that's like trying to think if I can think of it. Can't really think of an example off the top of my head. I thought I was going somewhere with that, but I don't know. I'm a little suspect about that. And then some of the inductees, I hate the celebrities being in there. And then you got questions about these mid-level talent guys like Bad News Brown, didn't have a great run, but you put him in. But I'm done. Wally, if you want to go ahead and spin it, I had to vent a little bit because that really irked me. The Carlos Colon, Bruiser Brody, that really bothered me.
All right, so based on everything I heard you just said, like breaking it down as far as how you would perceive that Wrestling Hall of Fame, or at least the WWE's Hall of Fame, should be, or it should look like in a format, then to me, I'm hearing what you're saying, but at the same time, I'm also hearing like you sort of like bit yourself in the foot a little bit, because on one hand, you're talking about a jobber that was in the game, but that was real good and smooth with it, but never was pushed. But then you're also saying, well, the guy that was a B-rated wrestler that should have never been in the Hall of Fame and had his implications and how he feels about his time there, and he is in the Hall of Fame. I'm like, well, wait a minute. You're going to tell me a jobber belongs in the Hall of Fame before a B-ranked wrestler? I'm like, make that make sense for me, because I can't grab that.
Well, like I said, some of these guys, like Bad News Brown, was a flash in the pan. He was there for a couple years and he was out.
Oh, no. I'm
saying a lot of these jobbers, they were there for years. And they paid their dues every night, and they helped develop. Again, before they came up with the term developmental talent, these guys paid their dues every night, making sure that these guys got to where they need to. Were they great in terms of wrestlers or famous or whatever? No.
Yeah,
but I can
understand
you want to honor these guys because they paid their dues in the business, helping to push a lot of guys who came up in the business who didn't necessarily work out because of the big push. Bad News Brown, like I said, was a mid-carder and nothing more.
Well, yeah, but
I never heard of him.
Here's my thing, though. My only thing when I'm hearing that, though, is because here's my thing. Because I can get it. Like, for instance, like I guess if you were to sit here and say like, what was that clown's name back in the days?
Doink.
Like,
the clown?
yeah, like you could sit here and say like he was a complete jobber, you know, an entertainment showpiece, right?
Right.
Nothing major. And more likely he's probably in the Hall of Fame or he will eventually be in the Hall of Fame, right? But that's my thing is like, if we're talking about Hall of Fame and overall, right? More case than not, I'm thinking someone that did something spectacular, even if they didn't had a great run or not. I'm thinking someone that really, okay, great. Because on one part, I get what you're saying. People that paved the way, people that really put in work, that really was in the corporation, that gave it their all, even if they didn't get the top story or not. But at the same time, I'm also looking at it in the sense of, well, let's understand Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame, regardless if it's wrestling or in sports in general, is for the higher up or the higher echelons, right? So I think like there has to be a breathing room there. Because I'll sit here and say this, right? Because you talked about this year's version of WrestleMania. I think everyone agrees that you sit here, like I think, well, to your standpoint, what you said earlier, you said that AJ is good to go, right? For WrestleMania, for it to be in the Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah.
See, here's my thing though. I love AJ. AJ is one of my goats. Not this year. Because you haven't been in WWE for long. So what the hell? They did that.
Right. So right. I would agree with that. I would right. My thing was a Hall of Fame. Now that's another argument altogether. Now I do have this other aspect to my arguments in terms of whether guys are first ballot. See, like in other sports, you got to be on the ballot. It's like 6 years before you're eligible to get into like the NFL Hall of Fame or the NBA Hall of Fame. And then the question is, well, is this guy? Yes, this person's a Hall of Famer. Is this person a first ballot? And so a guy like AJ, is he first ballot? I don't know. I just know that he's in, like I said, when I think about him, say, yes, he belongs to the Hall of Fame. Should there be a waiting period? I would think guys like Stone Cold when he retired, or The Rock, or Hogan, or those guys, like the day they leave the stage. It's like Tom Brady in the NFL, right? He's still waiting to get in the Hall of Fame. I think guys like him, or Michael Jordan, I think as soon as they step off the basketball court, you put them in the Hall of Fame. You shouldn't have to wait 6 years because you know that they're that good. But some guys, it's like if you're not first ballot or not even thought of that way, yeah, I don't mind you waiting a couple years before they let you in.
Yeah, I mean,
okay, but wait, because you guys stop a little bit. Hold on, because here's my thing, right? I get the idea of like, okay, if you were that good, you should be first ballot. You should be in automatically. But then again, what defines being that good then? Because now, are we defining it by what they define being good? Or are we defining that by what the fans define being good? Because there's a lot of people we can just say that were good, but they never got to where they should have been. So again, on that point, because the only stats and statistics in wrestling is titles. And we all know that is only monotony because, again, that's only based upon who is selected to be there. So, again, that's what I'm saying. Like, the idea of that, again, for me, love AJ to death, but I would not put him in the Hall of Fame right now.
Okay. Although I would say this, Pete, that could be a good show that I wouldn't mind being a part of.
Yeah, let's
debate
up for next week.
Just as we debate in baseball or basketball, what makes a Hall of Famer, what makes a first ballot Hall of Famer is a combination of the time they've been in the game, is a combination of their accomplishments, it's a combination of their skill set, all those things involved. So if we want to have a discussion in terms of, Wally, I would like to know, what is your Hall of Fame criteria then? If it's not, and again, we're already over time on the show, so I don't know how much you want to keep the show going, but I would like
we're going to call after your statement.
What's that?
After your statement, is it going to final thoughts after that?
Okay, so again, what is a Hall of Famer from a wrestling perspective, in your view, and how do you come up with that criteria? And again, that's something we can take up on another show.
I'm going to say it like this, right? Because when we talk about Hall of Fame, there is a whirlwind of ways to look at it. I think what WWE has done lately, as far as now bracking it, like saying like, okay, if you're someone from the elder days to someone that's a little bit more current to someone that's a little bit more famous and all that, bracking it up, I can understand them doing that because then it's like, okay, it at least opens a portal for certain people to be inducted at the right time, and at least it makes sense to organize it a little bit, right? I can understand that. That's fine. as far as like the being famous and everything else, I think that's more like okay, the Rod Hot, like the Dennis Rodmans and all that. That's just for that's just for the clicks and mates and all that. That's fun shit. But I don't care for that. But hey, look, if it popped or if it's a rememberable moment by a lot of people somehow, some way, it's like, well, then let it be what it is. But I look at it in a sense of like, because even right now, if that's the case, right, if we're talking about first ballot, like in a sense of first ballot, I mean, in all honesty, as far as WWE, purely WWE, that means the moment when John Cena says, I'm done, well, I mean, hey, we all knew what John Cena was going to be done, right? We all know the schedule. Then why is John Cena not elected? If that's the case. And so that's what I'm saying. The criteria, you got to be really like, the criteria has to be really proponently like on some real good stuff, because people are too wishy-washy with the idea of who belongs there. And even in like a lot of cases, even in basketball, football, whoever, because there's so much wishy-washy of like who should be first ballot or this and that, and how you question it. Because like, okay, well, wait a minute, before you question who should be first ballot, how did you get the person to be quote unquote nominated to be there? Because I'll even pivot in the sense of music. We got people that are nominated now. What got them over to be the winner? And that's the thing with me. So that's what I'm saying. Like in the same sense of being first ballot. Okay, yeah, these are all first ballot contenders, but now what got them over to actually being in? That's the thing that sort of bothers me, because there's a lot of times I think what I forgot the football player, but it was one of the wide receivers. They got it. I think they got a couple of times, but they were first ballot, but then they just never got in yet, or they was never voted.
Owens, Terrell
right.
Owens.
So like, how long are you gonna keep on doing this? Like, so the criteria is very vague. That's what I'm like, especially in wrestling. Go ahead.
No, you good. Go ahead.
Wow, you there?
I said, go ahead.
Oh, well, put it like this. I put it like this. One wrestler we all know that should be in, and unfortunately probably will never get in, Owen Hart. Now, we all know
that's a whole different kind of words there you talk about.
He should be in, but his family won't.
I think that's a good show. So we can talk. So next week or whenever you want to do it, we can talk about what our criteria is, what makes a Hall of Famer, what makes a first ballot, who's in that doesn't belong in, who's not in that should be in. I think those are good. I think that's a worthy discussion for an upcoming show.
All right, let's do it for next week, next Friday at 9:30 over here on Spartan Talk. We're going to do a wrestling except doing a wrestling story. We're just going to do let's talk about Hall of Fame and see our opinions and go from there. We're all in agreement.
Do that for like at least 2 weeks.
Why 2 weeks?
Hello, we're trying to build up a criteria, right? We all would have to agree on the criteria.
I mean, I like the roundtable discussion because this is something that, let's be honest, a lot of us wrestling fans have been talking about this for a long time. Who should be in? Who shouldn't be in? How long should they wait? Which ones deserve the bypass the waiting period to get in automatically, and which ones should have to follow the mandatory waiting period as well? Like certain sports do have a waiting period between 3 and 5 years. And then you have some sports that will make an exception for particular individuals because of something.
There shouldn't be no special treatment for anybody.
Well, it's like that in certain sports. Like, for example, in hockey, when Wayne Gretzky retired, they bypassed the Hall of Fame, waived the 3-year waiting period, and they inducted him like that soon because of what he's done for the game of hockey and everything else.
Hey, that shouldn't matter.
I know, but I'm giving you an example of certain sports and certain Hall of Fames that will.
Well, I'm not saying that shouldn't matter though, because again, are we again? Because that's what I'm saying. Like, well, okay, for me, this is for me for right now, right?
Okay,
that's why I'm pinpoint when it comes to criteria matters, right? Because what is really truly putting this person in? Like, what is the proponents that you're putting in? Because that's what I'm saying. Like, I think. Because I'm not too heavy in hockey, but I do watch it time to time just for the hits because they do be a little bit great on that. But I do believe like if you are like one of the figure faces, like okay, for instance, if you were to said wrestling, one of the many figure faces, one way or another within the era, genre, and all that, right? You could say Ric Flair was one of them. You could say Hulk Hogan was another one. You could say Stone Cold, The Rock, and and because they were the big figure faces around the time when they said that quote unquote they are retired. For whenever the quote unquote term of them saying they're retired or they're stepping away from wrestling and letting the newer guys step in and do their thing, is like, okay, that should have been easily a pathway to say, you know what, you paved the way for this generation, for this era to being what it is because you mass produce it to be on television. You're the one that kept the ball rolling. But then now notice, but that's not the case as far as wrestling. But that's what I'm saying. Like those criteria, those are very vague. That's what I'm saying. Like in sports, it just depends on what you're doing it on. I think hockey had to do that because hockey wasn't that well known, especially because in certain areas, hockey is not a very thing that's very much played because hockey is more so of a cold area type playground.
I get what you're saying with that, Wally, and I'm a big hockey fan, and I can see why the Hall of Fame put Gretzky in as soon as he retired. And I'll give you one reason why. His trade from the Edmonton Oilers to the Los Angeles Kings forever changed the trajectory of the game here in the United States. You have 2 teams in the state of Florida. You got 3 teams in California. You got a team in the state of Texas. You had a team in Arizona that's now playing in the state of Utah. You have a team in the Carolinas, and so on and so forth. He changed the trajectory of the game in so many ways. You wouldn't have guys like Seth Jones, who's from the state of Texas. You wouldn't have Austin Matthews, who's from the state of Arizona. Those are perfect examples of how the game has grown because Gretzky went to LA. That's why he was given that honor. And that's why he was the only player in the history to ever get the honor of having his number retired league-wide. And when you look at some of the great players that came before Gretzky, like the Maurice Richards, like the Gordie Howes, like the Jean Beliveaus, and the Bobby Orrs, they never got that treatment like Gretzky. I'm just going
to let's try to save some of it for the show because we go back and forth.
I tried, man.
I'm pulling the plug now on this.
All right.
I tried.
If you guys hang on. If you guys have final thoughts, we can do it right now because if I continue, there's no point in doing the show then. Anybody has final thoughts?
I'm good.
I got a final thought.
You do?
Yeah.
Right, hang on. Let me get you ready. Go ahead, my man.
All right. This was definitely by far a great discussion on the entrances in WrestleMania because usually what tells you the type of wrestler that you're going to see competing is his entrance music, how he's coming to the ring, sometimes what he's wearing, who's with them, so on and so forth. And usually if you're one of those wrestlers, when you always wanted to see a particular wrestler,
Daddy.
I'm busy. When you had a particular wrestler that wanted to make a name or wanted people to know, hey, I have arrived, it was at WrestleMania. And we've had all these other great pay-per-views that the WWE has had. We all remember everything from King of the Ring to Survivor Series to Royal Rumble. But if you want to make a name for yourself, it was always WrestleMania. It was always the show of shows. And your entrance was telling people, I have arrived or I have returned. So I want to see who's going to try to do something a little bit different this year. I feel like they try to be a little bit safe and mundane, and that's not good. But when we talked about all the ones that have taken place prior to this one, over the last 30 plus years, they all were creative. They were all willing to push the envelope. They all did something that got your attention and you looked forward to it. So I would love to see a lot of the current wrestlers try to do something that's not just reminiscent, but raises the bar and takes it to a whole new level. and hopefully one of those wrestlers do it. Whoever that man or woman is, I definitely hope. I hope to see it, and that's all I got to say. And those are some words we're thinking about. Thank you.
All right, thanks everybody for coming up tonight. Let's do a quick schedule day. Let's get the heck out of here. So tomorrow night we're talking about the best family TV show of all times, or are they not? So I'll see you guys tomorrow on that one.
That's gonna be a great discussion.
Yeah, and we're talking about non-profit. Is it this week or taxes?
Nonprofit organizations. The week after that, we'll talk about taxes in general.
All right, and on Tuesday we're talking about love versus loyalty, and on next week, or I guess we're talking about Hall of Fame next week. If I can get these guys up,
We're gonna have a roundtable discussion. Like, what should be the criteria? I think that's what we do. Definitely a roundtable discussion.
no, that's fine.
criteria?
We'll figure it out. We're gonna figure it off the air. Okay.
Okay.
All right, guys. As always, I am the Spartan. He is my man Anton. My man Wally, Mr. President. As always, stay fresh, stay safe, and I'll see you guys.
Be safe, everybody.